Thanks for joining us here on sportsradio610.com, the website. We appreciate it. There's a lot to see on this website. Be sure you move around a little bit and check out some great opportunities to win some cool stuff. And here's some great interviews on the podcast page. Hey, on our show Wednesday afternoon, we were doing a little fantasizing, you know, wish list kind of stuff. What athletes might play for Houston sports teams in the future. And what got our attention is Shawne Merriman is about to be waived by the San Diego Chargers. Texans in desperate need of a boost to their pass rush. And Carl Crawford, the Houston native who has evolved after 9 years in the big leagues into really one of the premier talents in the sport, probably played his last game on Tuesday night for the Tampa Bay Rays. If you're Drayton McClain, when you're eligible to talk to free agents after the World Series, are you knocking on Carl Crawford's door? I know I am if I'm Drayton McClain.
Yeah, Carl Crawford's going to be one of the most coveted free agents in baseball this offseason. He can do it all. Speed, he's got some power, he's a good fielder in left field. He would instantly upgrade the Texans' outfield. He'd instantly upgrade their lineup. He'd be a great addition. The only question I have is if Drayton's willing to spend the money to bring in a guy who may be commanding a $100 million plus contract.
Well, at this point, obviously, it's fantasy talk. We don't know what's going to happen. I think Drayton has the money and has the willingness to spend the money if Crawford shows an interest in playing here. An outfield of Crawford, Bourne, and Pence, probably the fastest and maybe most athletic outfield in the big leagues if you can move Carlos Lee to first base. Okay, that's the Astros. Merriman available sometime very soon. The Chargers are done. He's been hurt most of the last 2+ seasons. He burst on the scene in 05, 6, and 7 with a tremendous amount of sacks. He can definitely get it done, but two concerns for me. Number one, he's a 3-4 outside linebacker who's never played in a 4-3. I'm not saying I don't think he could do it as a down lineman, as an end in the 4-3, but does he want to? And number two for me is the fact that, well, he's working on a third straight year in which he has been hampered by injuries. Do you really want to go down that path with Shawne Merriman?
Can a guy be washed up at the age of 26? I mean, he's still young enough. You'd think he'd be able to bounce back. But as Rich mentioned, the last 3 years, he's done nothing. He's been nothing but hurt for the Chargers. If he was any good, the Chargers wouldn't be letting him go. They're tired of his act. They're tired of his underperformance. That said, the Texans need a pass-rushing defensive end. If he could do it, I would love to have him at least come in, take a look at him. They brought in Wally Agunlie. They brought in Mark Anderson from the Bears, two guys who their former team, the Bears, thought were washed up. Why not take a shot at Shawne Merriman if he's willing to play defensive end?
If you want to weigh in on this sort of discussion, you know where to find us. On the air 2 to 7, Monday through Friday, right here on Houston Sports Leader, Sports Radio 610.